Okay, again, I need to get everything on the same side of the equation and set it equal to 0. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides of the equation, giving me 2x squared plus 12x plus 5 equals 0. Now, notice with the quadratic formula, there's an x equals out here. I'm not going to write that part as I go along, but at the end we need to remember that it's x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And again, you do not need to memorize this formula for the test. It will be given to you on the test. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put in my negative 12 plus or minus square root of, and I'll fill that square root out after I get the numbers put in, 12 squared minus 4 times 2 times 5. And all of that is over 2 times 2. Okay. Let's move on down and start working these out. So negative 12 plus or minus the square root of, and 12 squared is 144, and minus 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 5 is 40. We could also think of this as 10. 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 times 4 is 40. So minus 40. Okay, and that is over 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, let's simplify it somewhat farther. Negative 12 plus or minus the square root of, and 144 minus 40 would be 104. And this is over 4. Now, we have an issue. 104 is not a perfect square. So we need to come over here and factor 104 and see if we can simplify it. It's definitely divisible by 2. So let's see. I get half of 100 is 50, and half of 4 is 2, so 52. That's divisible by 2, giving me 26, also divisible by 2, giving me 13. So let's see, what do I have now? I have a perfect square right here, and its square root is 2. And then this stuff's going to be left inside of the radical. So now I have negative 12 plus or minus 2 times the square root of, and 2 times 13 is 26. And all of that is over 4. Okay. Now it's time to, well, before we break it apart, let's go ahead and do some simplifying. Let's reduce this fraction a little bit. You know what, on second thought, let's break it apart and then we'll simplify. So we'll do negative 12 plus 2 times the square root of 26 over 4, right here, and over here, negative 12 minus 2 times the square root of 26 over 4. Okay, I'm going to break this into 2 separate fractions. So on this side, negative 12 over 4 plus 2 times the square root of 26 over 4. Okay? And over on this side, well, we'll do that side in a minute. Let's go ahead and reduce this. So this is negative 3 plus the square root of 26 over 2. And now over on this side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to break it into 2 fractions. Negative 12 over 4 minus 2 times the square root of 26 over 4. And then we will reduce that, giving me negative 3 minus the square root of 26 over 2. So now to write my answer, I have x equals negative 3, and this is plus or minus the square root of 26 over 2. I'm writing it in the simplified form. One of them is negative 3 plus the square root of 26 over 2. The other one's negative 3 minus the square root of 26 over 2. I just wrote it in the simplified form.